man. Messed up my mic. Treylow podcast. Turn on the light real quick. You can see my room's kind of messy behind me. All right. If you can hear me, hello, test. Last week I tried to use this microphone for Treylow podcast, and I didn't look at the settings on YouTube. So if you look at your settings before you go live, you got this little thing called settings, and it will tell you if you're using the mic or the internal mic. You don't want to use the internal mic if you got this. You want to go live with your new microphone and be cool and shit. Little condenser mic. What's been going on lately? I ain't been doing the podcast, man. I've been doing a little bit of traveling and shit. Texas got flooded out. It's been a bitch. Texas got flooded out in Beaumont. Houston got hit hard. Hold on a second. Houston got hit hard. That's what's been going on. So, like, I had a whole week off this last week, and it's still hot, so I wanted to go to the beach and stuff. But what happened was I attempted to find a place to go because I didn't want to fly nowhere. I had my son Steven, so he's still a toddler. He's only 4 years old. So I kind of wanted to go somewhere locally. And usually I like to go to Galveston because Galveston's not that far. It's only a 3-hour drive. That's really like my tops when it comes to driving places is like 3 to 4 hours. If it goes over like 3 or 4 hours, I don't want to do it by myself. It's not bad if you got a co-driver. Like when I went up to Oklahoma with Tanya, she drove some of the way back. So that's not bad when it's like 5-6 hours to drive and you got a co-driver with you. So they can drive for a little bit while you chill. You know what I'm saying? So we went down, me and Steven got in the car and I was like, man, we got to go to the beach somewhere. So I started looking at all the stuff going on in Houston. I was like, hell no, I ain't even going to go close to that. I don't want to get trapped in no flood or anything like that. So, and Galveston was raining the whole week. So I decided to go down south to South Padre. Now, South Padre from Austin, where I'm at, is about a 6-hour drive. So I kind of tried to get somebody to go with me, but everybody was busy. Everybody was either working or doing something this week to where I couldn't get like a homeboy or homegirl to go with me down to South Padre. And it was cheap, man. Like right now, it's not summertime. So the rooms down there, if you go to the cheap rooms, they're only like $28. I want y'all to see this shirt real quick that I'm repping. See that? I'm repping it. 3-0, undefeated. You know what I'm saying? We coming, baby, this year. Anyways, back to what I was saying. South Padre is cheap for the rooms because it's not summertime. So you can get a nice little room for like cheap. I got a room for like $28 a night. That's how cheap it was. So I was like out of like $144 for like 3 or 4 nights. That's another thing that I like to say. I don't like if I'm on vacation, I don't mind spending a night in different places, but like 3 nights tops in one place. Because when you get like over 3 nights and it's like you start getting a little homesick, you get bored, man. I can't stay a whole week in one spot, man. It's like, man, you get kind of bored just sitting there. So you got to do like 3 nights in one spot, go to another spot, camp out, another 2 or 3 nights. If you're going to do a whole week, that's the way I do it. I don't know how y'all do it. So I got a little paraphernalia, you know what I'm saying? Bam, got the shirt on, repping, bam, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people being quiet about the 49ers, you know what I'm saying? I know it's like a lot of people hate the 49ers. They straight up hate them, and whenever we start winning or getting a little good, it's like all of a sudden they really, really quiet because they don't like to hear about that shit. They think 49 fans are too cocky. And we cocky than motherfuckers, Bay Areas, you know what I'm saying? So, we gonna sit up there and talk our little shit. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people out there are straight up haters. They won't say they're haters, but as soon as you start winning and you start texting them like, hey, man, you see that fucking game? We blew them out and shit. They're quiet. You know, especially Dallas Cowboy fans down here, they're fucking quiet because they don't want to see the 49ers. They'll talk all the shit they want when the 49ers suck. You know what I'm saying? But they quiet when we fucking winning some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they really don't want to see us win. And they really think it's their year with Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott and all that shit. They think they're going to go to Super Bowl this year. But I'm like, dog, y'all got 3 wins on your records of sorry-ass teams. You know, and people say the same thing about us, but the Steelers, man, they came with it. They came with it in Levi Stadium. That game right there this week was crazy, man, because we had 5 turnovers and we still won the game. That's pretty almost impossible. You know what I'm saying? The only time that happened when I think they did on the stat was like back in 1998 with the Carolina Panthers. So 20 years ago, a team had 5 turnovers and still won the game. So it was a hell of a game, man. I was getting so pissed off, man. I was at the bar, and there was a bunch of Steeler fans there. Like every time we get down to the red zone in the first half, they either fumble the ball or it'd be a turnover, an interception. I was like, man, this is some bullshit. I said, we can't even score for shit. Like we had 3 points the whole first half, I think. 3 or 6 points. I don't know. No, I think it was 6 points the first half. So, I mean, it was bad, man. I mean, it hurts more than anything. Like you can do a fumble, midfield. You can kind of do a fumble like in that area where it's like not below your 20-yard line or not below their 20-yard line, and you don't get that pissed off about it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, well, shit happens. But when you right there in their red zone and you fumble, man, that shit hurts, man. You're like, fuck, man, we had a chance. If anything, we had a field goal, to put some points on the board. But just to fumble right there on the red zone, like you right there about to score, man, I'm about to knock the mic over. About to score on them and you fumble, man, that shit hurts, man. So I sat up there and watched that whole game, and Pittsburgh brought it to us. You can say Pittsburgh ain't shit. Their new quarterback, because Big Ben's out, and they're like, okay, well, Big Ben's out. Y'all was like a 6-point favorite and shit like that. But they brought it to us, man. I mean, they played their ass off. They played the same way Pittsburgh Steelers always play, dirty hitting motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing I don't like about the Steelers. Ever since I've been a football fan, the Steelers just seem to me like bullies. You know what I'm saying? They always want to come in and hit, throw like dirty hits on people, hit the quarterback all hard, hit the wide receivers where they bust their backs and shit. They're just dirty playing motherfuckers, and they bullies, man. It's like they're really big and want to bully people around. That's why I really don't have no respect for them with their 6 rings. To me, it's like they bullies, So I never really liked the Steelers at all. And Steeler fans, they're cool. Steeler fans are actually better than the team. Steelers fans are, got more class, but the team, just the way they play, man, I don't really have respect for that kind of play, man. Want to sit up there and run and hit people. They were all over Jimmy Garoppolo that game. Jimmy Garoppolo was taking some hits. I remember this one hit he took where it was 2 Steelers, and they came in. I thought he was going to go on concussion protocol, but they didn't, because I was like, they're going to call him for concussion protocol this next, like when he get off the field. I mean, he didn't get knocked out, but when the 2 Steelers came in to hit him, like boom, they came in and hit him so hard. Like when he got up, you could see him on the TV screen. He's like this, like that. So he was seeing some stars just like that. You know what I'm saying? He had a concussion or something. He like that. You know what I'm saying? So he was feeling them hits. And they were bringing it to him the whole game. It got to the point where, like, the second half, we had to make adjustments to where we were throwing the ball out the pocket real quick. They did this one play where they were bringing so much heat on him. Like, he did play action. Before he could turn back around, he'd go back to hand the ball off. Like, he got his back turned. Before he turned around, there's 2 Steelers in his face. That's how bad that was, man. It was bringing heat. You know what I'm saying? So I was surprised we won. But that one dude, one tight end, just a Wick or something like that. I don't even know how to say his name. Just a Wick. It's a weird name, weird last name. He was beasting, man. Quan Alexander, he was beasting. And our defense, if you look at our defense stats, we number 9. So we in the top 10 as defense. I want to see, we got the bye week this week. Then next week we have the Browns on prime time, which the Browns to me are overrated. Baker Mayfield, he's like another Johnny Manziel. I'll be honest with you, man. I don't really care for Baker Mayfield at all. He's to me, like the way he plays like he's still in college. Like he's like super amped up, and like he playing like a college game. It's an NFL game. NFL games, you got to be more precise, more not so emotional, not so high energy. It's more like, when you're a quarterback, if you're a wide receiver or a defensive player, you can get amped up because you play on. But I'm talking about as far as the quarterback position, you got to play more calculated, precise, and more relaxed, in your whole pose and everything. He doesn't play like that. He plays like he's straight out of Oklahoma playing an Oklahoma game against Texas Longhorns or some shit like that. And that's what I'm saying. And he's from Austin, Texas. He's from my town. And I'm being honest, man. Everybody who comes out of Austin, Texas ain't worth the shit. Me included. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can say what you can say. I'm a Baker hater, whatever, and that's my hometown dude and all that. But I'm saying just give it some time. Cause I got my homeboy sitting up there saying Jimmy G ain't shit, and y'all paid him $140 million. Jimmy G's winning games. Baker's not. Baker's 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy G is 3-0. You could say, okay, it beat Cincinnati Bengals. That ain't shit. And what was that first game? Damn, I can't even remember now. Cincinnati Bengals, Pittsburgh Steelers, and freaking what was the other game? Tampa Bay. That ain't shit. Everybody whooping Tampa Bay's ass. You know what I'm saying? That ain't shit to beat them. And Cincinnati Bengals, everybody's whooping their ass. So that ain't shit. Steelers are 0-3, so they ain't shit. But I will say this, Steelers got to the point where, like, that game, they felt like, okay, we got to get out of this slump, man. Even if we don't have Big Ben, because they played their ass off in Levi Stadium, man. I mean, and we gave them the damn game. That was what was funny, man. 5 turnovers, man. If you can't win a game and you get 5 turnovers, man, I don't know what to tell you, because that game was over with our team, and they didn't capitalize on the turnovers. Like I said, man, turnovers is free money. When I'm playing Madden and shit, turnovers is free money. So, really, like, if you can't get at least 3 points off a turnover, I mean, that was stupid to even get a turnover. Like, you get amped up. You get an interception, you make somebody fumble, you get all amped up like, yeah, but nothing happens the next drive. There was no point to having them turnovers. Now, another thing, somebody, I don't know who it is, let's go from sports. I'm a little amped up because I'm a 49er fan and my team's doing okay, even though you can say, yeah, but they were the Steelers. Yeah, but they were the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do the same shit. I ain't gonna lie, because, like, I have a Dallas Cowboy fan. He's texting me every Sunday, and he's like, man, my team's looking great, So I do the same thing. Like, it's the Giants, it's the Redskins, it's the Dolphins, dude. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we never gonna give them credit, even though it's like a professional NFL team. If you're a hater of that team, you're gonna be like, yeah, whatever. Even though it's a win, a win's a win. I don't give a damn what you say, the NFL team, they're all pro, and if you beat them, it's like playing chess. You can lose to a bad team. And if you lose to a bad team, see, that's the funny thing about haters and sports haters. If you lose to a bad team, they're going to bash you. Like, look at you, lost to the motherfucking Dolphins. That team's trash. And, they're going to talk shit. But if you win against a bad team, they're gonna be like, yeah, but that was the Dolphins, man. Anybody can beat them. You bragging about that shit? I'm bragging about that shit. Yeah, I'm bragging that I'm 3-0, because guess what? Even at 3-0, that's damn good. It's a pro football team. Anytime, any wins, whatever the team is, even if the team is 0-12, and you beat them, that's worth bragging about. Let me get this mic out the way. So South Padre. Went to South Padre last week with my son Steven. 6-hour drive. Let me tell you something about South Padre. Let me segue back to that because I was kind of on that, and I went to sports. And I come back, show you my little helmet and shit. 49er helmet. Okay. I was talking shit to a lot of Bengal fans too, man. I watched this other podcast. I think it's Gary Owen and stuff, man. He's a big time Bengal fan. He's a comedian. I was talking shit on his thread line like I'm the week before. I didn't even watch this podcast to see what he's saying about the Bengals now because the Bengals are trash. They're like 0-3. So back to what I'm saying. Get away from sports. Shut up about sports. I'm talking too much about sports on this podcast. South Padre. We went down there, I think it was Wednesday, and stayed down there till like Sunday. Yeah. I'll come back Sunday during the day last week. So South Padre is kind of funny, man, because it kind of like it's an island, but it's kind of like a border. It's like you're actually on the border island. Because when you go onto the island, you cross over the bridge, and then you're going up the street, which is Padre Boulevard. Now, if you look on the street, it's kind of crazy because that's like the border. You got the cheap, shitty hotels on one side, which is your left side, because they ain't close to the beach. You got to cross over Padre Boulevard and then walk about 2 or 3 blocks down to the beach. And then you got on the other side of the border, all the rich, classy condos on the right side. So if you go across the bridge on the South Padre and then you go up the main strip, you got the left side, which is the poor people or the broke hotels, crackhead motels. And then you got the right side with all the classy, ritzy kind of shit. The Schlitterbahn's actually on the right side, and they got their own resort there. If you want to go to Schlitterbahn, it's closed already. All that shit's closed. Like it's already, they passed the season to go to Schlitterbahn, but it's on the right side, and you got all the condos and stuff. So that's where all the money is, on the right side of Padre Boulevard. The left side is the broke people. So it's kind of like a border in between. We got the broke people on this side, got the rich people on that side. You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch your ass on the left side of Padre Boulevard because you don't know what you're going to get into, what kind of elements and shit you're dealing with. The right side, you can act like, yeah, this is cool. But really, that island's not really that dangerous. There's not a whole lot of dangerous elements like motherfuckers in there trying to rob you. There's a lot of police there. So it's pretty much just like a little vacation spot. Maybe if you go to Port Isabella, there might be some shady areas over there, but that's like across the water, which is kind of funny because, I'm a 49er fan. And if you go across the bridge, the Bay Bridge into San Francisco, it's not as shady. It's shady, but it's more of a tourist place, versus if you go across the bridge back into Oakland, it's got some ghetto shit over there. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch your ass. You got to know what you're doing over there. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with kind of Padre. It's like you can go over to South Padre, cross the bridge, and be like, a little tourist vacation spot where mostly, and you can go to Port Isabella. You can find little shady areas in Port Isabella, man. It's not always just like totally clean. It's like a little beach place too, but it's got some shady areas. Good thing this week, somebody been watching these podcasts or somebody been paying attention to what I'm saying because I got a book selling. One of these books sold. I don't know if it's this one. Let me show y'all. This is one of my books right here. You can get it on Amazon. If you want the Pavilion Vortex. I know it's backwards, but you can get it on Amazon. This is the first edition right here. This is a red one. This one's pretty short. You see the back right here? There's my barcode. Just in case somebody want to steal my ideas and my concepts. Believe me, they out there. The haters out there. I was watching this show called Mrs. I was on Amazon called Mrs. Marvelous or some shit. And she was a comedian, and her boyfriend was like stealing the whole act, the Ed Sullivan act. Like he was going up on stage doing his whole routine. Like he stole his whole act. And that hit home to me because like I used to hand out all them music CDs. And one time I went to open mic, the dude's rapping my whole song, like word for word. Like took my whole song concept. And see, the thing about back then is I had that song done with another person's beat, like it was a neo beat. So it was like a kind of like a freestyle. But the dude took that beat because he found it online, took my beat, took my song, which he had copied my CD, and made the whole song. Like he went to open mics and said that's his song. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here in open mic listening to this dude rap my whole song because he got a copy of my CD. Just like on the show, like where the comedian was doing Ed Sullivan's whole act. And it wasn't even his act. You know what I'm saying? It's called Mrs. Marvelous something. I don't know. Look it up. It's an Amazon series. It's the one that won the Emmy and shit, like on Sunday. So the haters out there, people that are so lame, can't come up with their own material, whatever, can't sit down and do no work. And if you're not a famous person, they'll sit up there and copy your work and sit up there and say it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy because that song was all mine. I wrote it, put it together, did it with one of my homeboys, was handing out CDs at these shows. And he took my CD, went home, listened to it, and was like, oh, you know, I can rap this song. So he was going around performing my song, saying it was his. I wanted to whoop his ass so bad, but his girlfriend was outside crying and shit, you know? And my boy was there. He was going to whoop his ass too. He was like, man, you can't just taking people's songs. You know, I wanted to get up on stage and grab the fucking mic and hit him in the head with it. You know what I'm saying? How would you feel if you just sitting there in a bar and you worked hard on a song and you put it all together and, you know, this dude goes up on stage and says, hey, I'm fixing to do this song, blah, blah, blah. And it's your fucking song. He's rapping word for word your song. You know what I'm saying? You would want to get up there and fuck his ass up too. I walked outside the actual club because I couldn't. It was just shock. It was just pure shock. You know, I was just looking at this dude like, for real? Are you serious? Like, you're going to rap my song and not even give me no kind of credit for doing what I just did? Nothing like this song I got, you know, it's not my song, but I just, you know, want to put my own twist to it. No, he didn't say none of that shit. He said, I'm going to do this song, blah, blah, blah. It's my song. And it wasn't his song at all. So after he got off stage, that's when we met him outside, and he was scared of the motherfucker. He said, well, my life is kind of boring and I don't really have nothing to talk about. So I got a copy of your CD and, you know, I noticed your song's got a good story to it. And I don't really have a good story to my life. So I went ahead and did your song. Nah, man, I should have just, boom, hit him right upside his head and beat his ass. But his girlfriend was crying so hard out there. Like, please don't beat him up. He's slow. He has some mental issues, blah, 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 blah. Well, he had no mental issues for taking my shit and saying it was his shit. And I'm sure he's still walking around Austin, Texas, performing my shit and saying it's his. That's crazy, right? Anyways, so I'm not famous. So somebody could take this book right here, buy it on Amazon, and sit up there and say, they take the story on the back, twist it around a little bit, you know, change some plot add to it, and say it's theirs. And I could try to sue them for it, you know, because this has already got his barcode and all that shit, you know, copyright and everything like that. But, you know, it might be a hard thing to do because, if they take little elements from the story and say it's theirs, and I'm not famous and they are, that's what happens. Think I'm lying? Look at Bill Gates. They got this new Bill Gates thing on Netflix, and from what I heard, I don't know. Don't take that information now. Bill Gates gonna come sending people after me. He's got too much money. I just heard somebody say that some of the concepts for Windows he came up with, he's took those ideas from other people. So, and I know for a fact Facebook dude took it from them other people. So it really just comes down to like people not being, you know, might take your ideas. It might not be original and steal your shit. They're out there. Just be aware. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, they'll run out of material before you do if you got a creative mind, because, you know, all the ideas are coming from your brain versus them that are just sitting up there being haters and copying your shit. You know what I'm saying? So they'll run out of material way before you do. So if you just keep on grinding and hustling, you know, you can actually create something and it'll be yours and you get credit for it. Okay, here's the second book right here. See that? The Rectangulars, David Myers. There's my barcode right there, copyrighted and everything. Tells a little bit of bio about me. Got the whole book. I sold 2 of these last week to somebody. I signed it for him. This is actually a novel. You might not think it's a novel because look at how thin it is, but it's you know, it's self-published. So of course it's not going to be professionally made, but it's 46,000 words in this book right here. So, and this one's just a short story. As you can see, this is about 96 pages long. This one right here is 129. But as you can see, the size, if you look at the size on them, even though this one's 96, this is if this one was this size, like look at them size wise. If the second one was this size, it would probably be a lot longer. Like it'd be like 200 something pages. But if you look at this one, this is the key right here. If you want to be in any bookstore, right here, that means that you got to write at least 46,000 words to be in a bookstore. Like they want your name, it's got to be on the side like that. See that? If you want to be in a bookstore, you got to write enough words. See this one right here? This is too short, so it's not going to ever be in a bookstore. See that? So, of course, somebody's probably going to take these. Oh, yeah, I came up with that story, man. I wrote the whole thing. I don't know who David Myers is. You know what I'm saying? Probably somebody already came up with the story concept. They're probably making a movie and shit already. You know what I'm saying? And, oh, yeah, David doesn't get no money. But somebody out there bought one online this week. So I appreciate whoever did that. If y'all watching the podcast or you listening to the podcast or anything, I appreciate that. You know, somebody bought like 200 of these. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that big time yet. Ain't nobody bought 200 books. I got a rejection letter from a literary agent this last week. Apparently, you know, she said your material's not what we're looking for, but that's good. Like Stephen King actually got, I think, like 20 some rejection letters before he got, you know, published by a publisher. So I'm going to get those. You just got to keep on sending it off. And I'm glad somebody actually sent something to me back, because it tells me they actually read my shit. You know, a lot of people will sit up there and buy books from me all day. I'm asking them like 2 days later, did you read that book? Or no, about 2 months later, did you read that book? They don't even read it. They get a book. It's a waste of money to me, because I order these things and I sign it for them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking when I sell it to them, they're actually going to read the book, but they don't actually even read the book. You know what I'm saying? Treylow Podcast signing off. I hope y'all got some useful information. 49ers, hopefully we win. We on bye week this week. Next week, the Cleveland Browns, easy win. Cleveland sucks. Baker Mayfield sucks to me, but I don't care if he doesn't like me. Anyways, Baker Mayfield, 2 weeks is going to be on primetime, 7 o'clock, so check that game out. Hope you got some information about South Padre if you ever decide to go visit down there. And get one of my books. You know what I'm saying? Amazon.com. The Rectangulars, David Myers. The Pavilion Vortex, David Myers. Both of them are good stories, good horror stories, very intense. You'll enjoy reading them. I'm signing off. Talk to y'all later. Peace.